before we start, I would like all of you here to do something with me. So I want all of you here to raise your hands like this. So when I count 1, 2, 3, I would like all of you here to clench your fist like this. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. One more time, ready? 1, 2, 3. Now, how many of us here, your left thumb is on your right thumb? If yes, please raise your hand. Thank you. And how many of us here, your right thumb is on your left thumb? If yes, please raise your hand. Thank you. Hi, my name is Wesley Chan. I'm a certified NLP trainer. NLP stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming. In short, human psychology. For the past 7 years, I've spoken to more than 75,000 people across 12 cities in 3 countries, in more than 100 organizations. And many years ago, I was reading an article and it says this. It says that the way we arrange our thumb reflects our personality. So one more time, how many of you here, your left thumb is on your right thumb? Raise your hand. Thank you. Because in that research, it says this. It says that if your left thumb is on your right thumb, it is proven that in life, you are more emotional. Okay, and not only that, because if your left thumb is on your right thumb, it is also proven that in life, not only you're more emotional, but you're also proven that you're more romantic. Okay, now, on the other hand, how many of us here, your right thumb is on your left thumb? If yes, please raise your hand. Thank you, because in that research, if your right thumb is on your left thumb, it is proven that in life, you are more logical. Okay, and not only that, because if your right thumb is on your left thumb, not only you're proven to be more logical, but it also says that in life, when you grow up, you have a higher chance of being rich. Okay, so let me ask all of you here in UTM, if you're given a choice, do you prefer to be romantic or rich? Rich, all right? Okay, now, so we do this one more time, and I want all of you here to raise your hands one more time. So right now, when I count 1, 2, 3, I would like you to change the way you arrange your thumb. If just now left on top, now you change right. If just now right, now you change left. Okay, ready, hands up? Ready? When I count 1, 2, 3, you change. Ready? 1, 2, 3, change. Okay, thank you. And how many of us here, after you change, who felt uncomfortable? If yes, please raise your hand. Thank you. And now when you change your thumb and you feel uncomfortable, I have one question for you. If you change your thumb and you feel uncomfortable, what about when you change your life? I believe that change can be uncomfortable, but I believe it may be necessary. And today, I want to share with you a story of my change. And I call it the Chemical X story. Now, my story started many, many years ago when I was just 6 years old and I was watching TV. Now, does any one of you here, you enjoy watching superhero when you're a kid? If yes, please raise your hand. Thank you. And my favorite superhero back then was Powerpuff Girls. And I still remember every single Sunday, 10 o'clock in the morning, MTV 7. And I'll be waiting there. Sugar, spice, and everything nice. These were the ingredients chosen to create a perfect little girl. Thus, perfected accidentally added extra chemical X. And I was right there. And every single time when I watched, I was always very curious. Now, what is chemical X? And every single Sunday, my mom would be sweeping the floor. And I said, Mommy, come here. And she would come with a broom. And I asked her, Mommy, what is chemical X? And every single Sunday, my mom would tell me the same answer. Chemical X, 我不知道. So I was quite curious because I wanted to know what is chemical X. And I thought that chemical X is about talent. So growing up in school, I thought that I was quite talented in sports, in martial arts, and particularly in taekwondo. Now, it was a few years ago. I was cleaning my house during Chinese New Year, and I found back an old picture of me. So this was a picture of me 10 years ago in Sokma. Now, Sokma stands for Sukan Malaysia. I was very grateful I represented KL, and I competed in Sokma. I won the gold medal, and after that, I represented Malaysia. Thank you. And at a moment in time, not only I found back my picture, I also found back my gold medal. And as I was looking at this medal, right, so it becomes very emotional and very memorable. And I took this out from the cabinet, and I realized this. On top here was a bit rusty. And I realized something. I realized that medals will rust, but the experience will last forever. Thank you. Now, and I really realized that the best experience is when you try your best. Now, growing up after that, I think that I was quite talented in taekwondo, but I felt that I wasn't passionate enough to pursue as a career. And I furthered my studies in chemical engineering in University Technology Petronas. And something interesting happened to me. And this was during my second year being a chemical engineering student in UTP. So this was one subject called professional communication skills, in short, public speaking. Now, does anyone of you here, you have fear in public speaking? If yes, please raise your hand. Thank you. I was exactly like you. So I used to contribute to the 74% of people who have fear in public speaking. And we were all given a final assignment, a 7-minute speech to present about a persuasive presentation. And my topic was the law of attraction. And I was like, oh, okay, what am I supposed to do, right? I was very fearful. But I told myself, even though when you're scared, you must keep taking action. And I stood there, and I delivered my 7-minute speech. And I spoke about being grateful in life, have a vision board, you should have a positive mindset. And then after 7 minutes, my lecturer stood up, and he told me this one thing that changed my life forever. When he stood up, he told me this. Wesley, if you fail to be an engineer, be a motivational speaker. I was like, you must be joking, right? But then I realized that his compliment became my enlightenment. Maybe I thought that Chemical X is about passion. So having a passion in human psychology, in training, in speaking, so maybe I told myself, maybe I should pursue this as my passion, as my career. Now, of course, I did not fail being an engineer, and I graduated from University Technology Petronas as the Gold Chancellor Award recipient as the best student of UTP. Now, you probably guessed it right, that I did not become an engineer. So what happened was I rejected all my job offers, but I never tell my father. So it was one fine day. I came back home 1 o'clock midnight, and my father was waiting for me in the living room. 1 o'clock midnight, I came back home and he was there. So when I saw him that time, right, his face was very angry. He said, son, sit down. And I was right there, and I sat down. And he asked me, son, tell me right now, what happened to your job offer? And I said, Dad, actually, I rejected all my offers, but I just never tell you. So I pretend to be innocent. And he was like, hey, then what do you want to do? And I told my dad, I want to be a speaker, a trainer, to travel across the world, to give speech, to motivate people. So can you guess, did my father say yes? Did he say no? He never said yes. He never said no. He said, you xiao eh. And I was like, hey, I'm really serious. I want to be a trainer and speaker. So Chinese family, being a Chinese family, when you argue, things will fly around, then your volume will go up, and my entire family came down. So we had a very rough and heated argument. And for one last time, he asked me, son, tell me one more time, engineer or speaker? Speaker. And he stood up. And it is one thing he did to me, I remember for the rest of my life. He stood up. He banged on the table and he shouted at me, son, you get out from the house now! At that point of time, I was totally lost. I was totally blurred. And I was totally confused. Now, a lot of people say, on Facebook, on Instagram, follow your passion. But I then realized that follow your passion and you get kicked out from your house. That was something I was very confused. So my dilemma was this. Should I follow my passion or should I just obey to what my dad said? Now, you might think that being a trainer or a speaker is something which is glamorous, standing in front and to speak to many, many people. But let me tell you something. Now, this is really just the tip of the iceberg. Now, what you did not see, during my early days in my career, I don't know how many free talks I have to give to convince people that I'm good. During my early days of my career, I could not even afford my car loan. During my early days of my career, I could not even afford hotel. And it was one day I remember for the rest of my life. I had to travel to Johor Bahru. And because I don't have enough money to even rent a hotel, I had to travel midnight, 2 o'clock midnight from KL to JB. At the point of time, I was packing my bag. And I took my bag, I was about to leave my house. At the moment in time, 2 o'clock midnight, my mom was waiting for me. And she gave me something, and when I saw it, I immediately broke into tears. She gave me this exact one thing. In this ang pao was 400 ringgit. It was a huge amount for me. And it was a huge amount for my mom. So when I saw the ang pao and I saw inside was 400 ringgit, I totally broke down. And I really questioned myself. Should I follow my passion, or should I just find a job that pays me well for me and my family? Should I carry on what I'm doing, or should I just give up? But there's an inner voice inside that tells me that, Wesley, just keep going on. So what happened was this. Now, I used to envy people who stand on stage, speakers, trainers, TEDx Global, TED Global, and they were all there. So I used to envy them a lot. But I soon realized one thing. They are there because they took action. I did not take action. And only then I realized that maybe when you're looking for a solution, the answer might appear. Now, I realized that I have this big issue. Now, why am I not taking enough action? It's because of this. Now, I realized I got this big fall. Number one, I realized that I got huge limiting belief. I used to tell myself that, Wesley, you're not good enough. Wesley, you can't be like other people. Wesley, you are too young to be a successful trainer. And these are my inner voices I have all the rest of my life back then. Second, I have this huge fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of change, fear of uncertainty. And number three, I had broken relationships with my family members. We didn't even talk more than 30 seconds. And all this led me to have negativity, a lot of self-doubt, and low self-esteem. And it was through the power of NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, the study of conscious and unconscious mind, that I finally realized that, hey, I got all these issues. Now, before I go around speaking, inspiring people, I must first inspire myself. Before I motivate people, I must first motivate myself. And I was lucky, because a lot of people tell me, to be successful in life, you must find a coach or a mentor. Now, I was very lucky, and these two individuals really guided me a lot in my career, Dr. Billy and Miss Kate. All right? So what happened was this, and through the power of NLP, that I got rid of my fear, my limiting belief, my negative emotion, and I enhanced my relationship with my family members. And most importantly, whatever I do, I have conviction, I have momentum. And exactly after 1 year, since what my dad did to me, after 1 year, and finally, when I was driving to a school in Kuala Lumpur, my dad called me. And that was the first time in my life, when I picked up the call, I heard my father cry. It was very unusual for me. When I picked up the call and I answered the call, my dad told me this one thing. Son, as a father, I want to say sorry. Whatever you do, I will always be proud of you. Now that's the time that I realized that when you do your best, God will handle the rest. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. Now what I realized was this. The key is to keep taking action. And for the past 7 years, I've spoken to more than 75,000 people in more than 100 organizations across 12 cities in 3 countries. And I specialize in 3 things: managing Gen Y, sales, persuasion, and communication, and NLP training program. And most importantly, what NLP has done on me, it has really changed me tremendously. And because of that, and I realized that all those sleepless nights, all those hours of preparation, it was all worth it. And I remember one time where I had to run a project to speak to more than 4,000 youth across Malaysia in 3 months. I had to travel back to back 20 universities and colleges across Malaysia. And there were times I had to speak to 3 universities on the same day. First session 8 in the morning all the way until 11 p.m. Take the first flight in, the last flight out. It was totally exhausting. But I told myself it was all so worth it, and I loved every single second of it. Because I really love what I do. And because of that, it has led me now to become a certified NLP trainer. And I really want to reach out to people who stuck like how I used to be. Fear, limiting belief, negative emotions, and conflicts with other people. But if you ask me until today, do I really know what's chemical X? To be honest with you, I don't have a clear definition of chemical X. But I know chemical X is one thing for sure. Now, some of my experiences include TEDx back in UTP, And I had the opportunity to train companies like Shell, where I trained them in NLP for their business and IT managers. Now, this was in Petronas, where I was responsible to train their young talents about personal mastery. And this was in Samsung, where I shared with them the power of NLP to empower themselves and to empower people. Now, like what I shared with you, I don't exactly know what's the true definition of chemical X. And I think that is what makes it so unique and so powerful. And I believe all of you here, your definition will be totally different, depends on you. But I know three things for sure. Number one is this: matters will rust, experience will last. When you do your best, God will handle the rest. Chemical X, when you have it, you will go all the way, and it's worth your struggle, it's worth your sacrifice, and it's worth all your fight. Number two is this: tough times don't last, but tough people do. When you have Chemical X, it keeps you going, it makes you jump up from the bed, and it keeps you alive. Number three, and I realized this: passion gets you started, but effort makes you unlimited. And I strongly believe in this. I want to reach out to people who may be uncertain about your future. And I want to reach out to people who may have tough times in your business. And most importantly, I want to reach out to you. If you are having a bad time right now, it is okay. The key is to keep moving on. Stop finding your passion. Start defining it. And the true definition of passion is you gotta try. And when you take action and when you try, only then you will realize whether it suits you or not. And before I end my speech today, I want to share with you a very important quotation that has changed my life. There are two most important days in your life: the day you are born and the day you know why. Thank you.